All right. What up? What up? What up? Is this thing working? Let me see. All right, it's working. Okay. Wanted to make sure the chat was showing on the stream. Yeah, loregasm time. We're about to go all in. You know, it's gonna be so much of it, so much lore, just spilling, you know, just blasting in every direction. Don't do the sound effects. Oh yeah, like the DJ sound effects. It's the loregasm. I don't know. What kind of soundboards I got on here? You know, it'd probably be too loud. I can't do it. It's I don't know this sound setting for this. There you got the golf clap. Went from 6 to 3. We've got the loregasm. That's what we'll do. Stop fucking around. Yeah, there's too much to do, man. Everybody who agrees with Ram that we got to get started right away, go ahead and you know, Ram says we got to get going right away. We can't fuck around. we can't we can't have any fun today. Ram said so. That's fucking good. Oh shit. Yeah, use them in game. Yeah. I'm glad you're in such. Yeah, you rolled a 1. Fucking. You're fucked. You can only join in if it's meaningful, apparently. Yeah. I would have been like, where the fuck did that sound come from? If it happened like mid-game without me knowing what they are now. You know. But I really should. I mean, I really should. We've got space for... let me check the settings real quick. We have space for... probably a YouTube ad. Soundboard. So we have none custom that are uploaded. But we actually have the server boost is at level 2, which gives us a total of 36 soundboard sounds. Yeah, a Spanish advertisement. It wasn't even Spanish. It was I think it was Romanian advertisement. Considering my, you know, get to uploading. Yeah, that's 36 sounds I can use to fucking, I don't know. There's like a duck. These are just the basic. This is like what's already in there. You know. A duck. Sad horn. You got air horn. Golf clapping. Crickets and oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Whenever I like ask the player something and then nobody responds whatsoever, I'm just gonna play this one. Like, all right, come on, guys. Yeah, I need like a breather, and then we're jumping right in. You know, if I want to be going hard, I gotta, you know. Was it a long day? I wouldn't say it was the longest day, but it was definitely jam-packed. Yeah, you gotta have the foreplay before we loregasm. Cricket, that's pretty good. This is my equivalent. Yeah. It's the unwinding. It's the cigarette, you know. Alrighty. What you guys been up to? How's your days been? Everything doing alright? Anything wild? I know there's a lot of recommendations. Ram went crazy on the rat problem. And there's definitely going to be some stuff we got to run into. 1 week till summer. Low energy state. How you doing? What, long day? A lot of work. I need a nap. Yeah. Crazy for one faction. Yeah. One out of the... Need a nap. Didn't you just wake up, Milk? I think I just read that you just woke up. You need a nap already? How much did you sleep? It's been a long 2 hours. No weakness. Yeah, no weakness. It's the furries. It's like the counter to the furries. The only thing Ram cares about is the opposite of the furries. The rat. The opposite of the rat. Yeah, no weakness though. Everybody's here. Everybody here's strong. We're good to go. Really wants to kill the furries. The anti-furry. Yeah. They speak his name. Despite his name also having low-key well, I don't know. Low-key furry connotations. Ram. Oh yeah, wait till we introduce the Strix War. Yeah, why is there so few Strix? Oh shit. It's because they got annihilated. Jesus. No. Not everything has to be at the hands of a bad war, you know? RAF equivalent. KFS. Boo! Yeah. Gnome fighter pilots. Yeah. But the gnome battle plan was like kamikaze, right? So that's why they don't exist anymore. They just fucking wham, you know, straight down. They flew out of the veil. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright. That is probably because there's gonna be a lot of fucking around while we do this. But I think we should kick this off. Gnomes of the Viet Cong. They spring out from the ground. Oh shit. That's where they've been the whole time. And the rats awoke in them. The rats, the gnomes were, you know, embedded in the ground all across Ekros. And the scurrying of the thousands and thousands of rats, you know, echoed out across the land and it awoke the gnomes. I'm pretty sure that's like Lord of the Rings lore with the dwarves though, right? They were embedded in each mountain. And then they awoke. A sploosh of rats. Jeez. Not woken by rats, yeah, but it was, I think like each dwarf king was in a mountain, right? In one of the mountains. And then they just kind of... They woke too early. A Luvatar. Were they all together? Initially. Oh, but they founded homes or whatever in each of the mountains. Yeah, you're right. They weren't placed in each mountain. Like certain ones, right? Khazad-dûm and all that. Alrighty. Okay. All right. Since we're probably going to be doing a lot of fucking around when it comes to the everything else, well, the middle of all these streams, or as we normally do, I think we should jump into it because we're gonna we're gonna keep up the shenanigans throughout the whole stream, right? So, and since there's so much to do, best to jump right in and go from there. So I'm gonna just title this Vizgrad plus the Vizgrad Expeditionary Force. So we'll go from there. So, great forces of Vizgrad. All right. So, okay, I gotta make sure I don't scroll too fast. So, let's see. All right. Sorry. So, we begin with the forces of Vizgrad. Initially drawn to the area known as the Loch's Phage to investigate and hopefully steady your scroll stroke, or you will lorgasm early. Yeah, I don't want to lorgasm early. We gotta draw this one out, you know. So, so initially drawn to the area known as the Loch's Phage to investigate and hopefully exploit the rumored large quantities of magical material, the city of Vizgrad was wholly unprepared for what they would find within the dense forest. Very little evidence of the forest now exists, a blasted, magically corrupted hellscape dotted with the decayed stumps of once mighty trees. The only evidence that remains of the once verdant land. No one knows for certain what caused the deathly corruption that now clogs the air. Vizgrad blames the ratfolk, their foul miasma and sorceries blighting the very soil they burrow in. Some learned minds of Vizgrad theorize that the force was that once blanketed the land acted as a filter for the magical energies, and with its destruction, the raw magical power now pollutes the land unchecked. That's very cool. Short-term exposure to the poisonous air causes only minor effects. Hair loss, a hacking cough, burning eyes, and sallow skin. However, more long-term or more concentrated exposure to the corruption induces more permanent and deadly effects. During the early days of the Rat War, entire regiments of Vizian soldiers were left blind, coughing blood, tearing at their burning throats and blistering flesh. Painful deaths that taught Vizian command a valuable lesson. The war would need to be taken underground. Let's go down a little bit. In response to the immediate threat of the corruption, the small number of engineers accompanying the VEF hastily excavated dugouts for the Vizian forces to shelter in. To weather the endless tide of ratfolk, the engineers expanded and fortified these initial dugouts using the most ample resource available, wood, felling swaths of the forest to further fortify their beachheads. As the ranks of the Vizian army swelled with an influx of volunteers, the fortifications were expanded outward and downward to accommodate the new arrivals. Yet, the more trees that were cleared, the more the corruption around these fortresses intensified. At first, the engineers sought to further fortify the positions in hopes of preventing the foul miasma from penetrating these hold fast. They cleared more of the surrounding woodland to thicken the walls, seal up any openings, and insulate themselves from the corruption. This process only further sped up the corruption until those trees that were left untouched began to wither and die, appearing to decay from within. As the fortifications dug deeper, it was found that the corruption of the outside world seemed less severe the deeper the engineers dug. but the depths of the earth were not quite the safe haven the Vizians were hoping for. Rather than assaulting the heavily fortified emplacements, the ratfolk began undermining the Vizian positions, springing forth from frantically dug tunnels into the unprotected underbelly of the Vizian forts, slaughtering the unprepared defenders from within. The Vizians have now turned their attention to defending these underground positions, hoping to eventually dig their way towards the ratfolk's central lair, if it can be found. The front line ever expanding downwards, away from the surface world, the battlefield a dynamic web of ever expanding and collapsing tunnels. The unique nature of the combat, the predominantly human soldiers of Vizgrad are embroiled in, has led to some rather extreme adaptation within the armed forces of the city-state. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So, yeah, I think that is a great way to set it off. Just thinking that should say, dig their way to victory. It'd be a cool propaganda slogan. Yeah. Go full out with the propaganda machine. Because that was a thing I was thinking about, right? And like we'll get to it whenever we jump into the stuff that I did. Because I saw that you were focusing heavily on like Vizgrad, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go the exact opposite. I'm gonna do everything for the rats. But one part I was thinking of is if there is this idea that these enemies are just like that, rats are just, you know, like for every one we kill, they come back with 10. There would be this very quick kind of shift in, I guess, hope towards like an eventual victory. So I addressed that in the stuff that I did, which we'll jump to later on. But yeah, I think like dig their way to victory, and I think like having this like heavy propaganda or propagandized kind of, you know, war effort movement is very cool because it obviously it clicks right in with like the World War I propaganda like slogans and shit like that, right? Yeah. So nice. But yeah, I'll address what I was talking about. Mushroom heavy diet, no sunlight for growing food, vitamin D deficiencies, jaundice. Yeah, I think that would be like typical, right? Covered supply further down. All right, cool. We'll get to it. Sunlight for growing food. Yeah, I think that was the artery, right, or something like that. There was like this whole idea of a massively fortified tunnel that kept things from the above world shooting on down. But yeah, I think they're definitely going to look fucked up. Like, maybe not initially. If you're like new, you probably still have your hair. You probably don't look jaundiced. You probably don't look fucked off. But I think like eventually it just, you know, you cannot escape like the corruption both from the environment that you're fighting in, but also just naturally being underground for weeks and months and, you know, potentially years, depending on the, you know. Yeah, the longer you're there, the worse you look, for sure. Okay, so the forces of Vizgrad. I might actually, since it looks like jumping further ahead, I might actually make this like a bigger heading, because I initially put it like it's a smaller one, but I think what would be best is a heading 2 here, which would then be forces of Vizgrad. This means like whenever I take it from here, whoops. Hello video game. Alright. And then we can do like heading 1s from now on to kind of be like whoops, heading 3s for like the specific ones. So Vizian tunnel fighters looks like it's next. All right, so yeah, there's a difference. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not so because it played fucked up little guys, they get shorter and shorter. Yeah, they become dwarves, and then they become halflings, and then gnomes. Fuck no. Alright. So, Vizian tunnel fighters. And everything can be seen. Perfect. Okay. Soldiers of Vizgrad that spend any significant time or length of time amongst the corruption develop a rather distinct look. Their hair receding, thinning, and eventually falling out entirely. Their eyes becoming red, weepy, and more sensitive to bright light. The constant dust and irritation leading to men afflicted with lung disease or a persistent cough. These men are truly wretched and, whilst spared the worst effects of the corruption by remaining underground, without the trees filtering the pervasive corruption, it seeps underground, poisoning the Vizian slowly. Let's see. All right. Yeah. So I definitely like. Maybe I'll actually change this. Rather than like the, what would it be? Is it effects or effect? The effects. The effects of corruption. Effects of corruption. Yeah, dude. Then I get to play. Then Then I jump in. I get to undermine everything you do. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, I'm going to name this one The Effects of Corruption. Yeah, I think I like what Chris said earlier too. Well, I mean, actually kind of... Yeah. Sallow skin is already like basically like jaundice, right? So I think it fits in perfectly already. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it looks alright then. And then it's time for my D. So I'm gonna take those apart here. So let's get... Oh, okay, that's fine. Perfect. Supplements. Yeah, get your war supplements. Oranges. What up, one? I'm gonna say like one Captain Kill steal. Oranges. Yeah. All right. So limes. Oh, like coming up with a specific I guess like I think it would be cool coming up with like the one specific thing that is I like the idea of something that would the Vizgrad are limeys. Yeah. I think it would be cool if there was like a specific fruit or something that I think like typically would be almost like a luxury outside of the, you know, like away from all of this, but down there it's like you have to eat it just to keep yourself from, you know, truly like retching over, like super vitamin rich. So really, let's see, what is the... Okay, so it looks like lemons and blueberries are top tier when it comes to fruit black market. Yeah. Let's see. We got apples. Eat orange so you don't get scurvy. Yeah. Black licorice. You need it to live, but it tastes like poison. Someone exploited. Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking is, like it would be something that somebody would really enjoy in a normal situation, but then if you're forced to eat it all the time, it's like really fucked up. I think maybe something like blueberries, right? You gotta eat your handful, but it's like, fuck, man. I don't know. We'll come back to the idea. Yeah, make them like sour. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Just for like the gallows humor of, right, you know, like you're eating like you know, like a you know, like a noble or something, you know. You're eating like you're rich because you get to have this fruit. But maybe they stain your teeth purple. Jesus. So not only do they have yellow skin, they have purple teeth. What the fuck? The LA Lakers. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So, let's go with what's up next. All right. D10 3. Now we'll do Vizian Tunnel Fighters. All right. Where are we at? When the war first broke out, the Vizian army was a small force, not suited for large-scale conflict. While the discovery and reports of monstrous ratfolk terrorizing the borders of Vizgrad, poisoning the land, a wave of nationalism swept the city-state. Vizians signed up for service in droves, wanting to take the fight to the nightmarish threat to their city. However, as the war has dragged on with no end in sight, as fewer and fewer return from the front line, volunteers and for the Vizian army have dwindled. A major breakthrough was thought to have occurred when, after 5 years, the engineer corps were able to establish a single tunnel between Vizgrad and the principal fortification of the front line, Koritars. Is Koritars? Am I saying that right? Koritars. Yeah, 2 to 3 years. Yeah, let's see. Oh, right. And after, we'll say after, if the conflict has been going on for about 5, then we can do. I think we decided on 5 last time. We wrote it down, so let me just double check it real quick. Did I not write it down? Holy fuck, I'm an idiot. Alright, fuck me. Yeah, I think we decided on like less, like just barely. We're coming up to 5. So then I think then I think it would be 3 years. Let's do 3 years. The engineer corps were able to establish a single tunnel between Vizgrad. Oh, Kuritas. Oh, like corridors with an accent. I get it. Kuritas. Thanks for the offer, but no thanks. Okay. This tunnel, named the Artery, constructed to speed up the safe deployment of troops to the front line, but has now become a vital linchpin and the survival of Vizian forces, and must be defended at all costs if victory is ever to occur. Forced to adapt underground, Vizian tunnel fighters, many now press-ganged into service, have become tenacious warriors. Those that survive more than a few weeks in the tunnels considered veterans. Absolutely. Okay, perfect. Quiritas. Corridor. Okay. Quiritas. Awesome. So, man, I see so many different campaign angles for this area now. Yeah, exactly. Defend the artery, right? Huge. Trying to get to the center, supply delivery, vitamin supply, smuggling, trying to hunting down like a rat king or a duke, or as you'll come to learn, other things that I have worked up for it as earned retirements after 14 full days of fighting. I think it's a little too short, unfortunately. I think we need a whole Ekros spin-off, to be honest. Yeah, its own thing, its own whole separate thing. Perfect. So that's done. Yeah, I think that's perfectly good to go. No issues. Now we have the Vizian line infantry. All right, so perfect. Okay. Thinking of the rats. Yeah. Okay, so let me make sure everybody can see shit. Okay, so we'll go down. We're good. Alright, the Vizian line infantry. When marching into the Loch's phage to initially confront the ratfolk, morale was high. The Vizian army, bedecked in royal red livery and gleaming plate, were convinced the conflict would be over by Crodmus. That is a nice little reference. It'll all be over by Crodmus. Yeah. A pest extermination, but little did they know. Nowadays, the hopes of a swift resolution to the conflict is naught but ash and mud. The men who marched so confidently into the phage ended their days coughing, convulsing in hastily dug ditches. Their red coats now mud around Christmas. Yeah, the red coats now mud smeared, torn, and worn by new men as hand-me-downs. The fresh-faced, idealistic recruits are now seldom seen. In their place come frightened and dejected men, often conscripted into service through necessity, many barely older than children. There are even rumors circulating Vizgrad that criminals are being sent to the front line in place of punishment or incarceration. Needless to say, morale on the front line is often shaky. Their theft, assault, and murder amongst the ranks are on the rise, often requiring officers to take punitive measures to restore a semblance of order. Due to industrial... Oh, actually, we'll go down for this one. Damn. Very nice. Very, very Russian World War II, you know? So, due to industrial shortages in Vizgrad, the Vizian infantry are now issued with a Vizian rock axe, a tool originally used by the Vizian engineers to construct the first hastily dug tunnels and dugouts. This double-bladed axe functions as both a pick and deadly weapon. Piercing head is suitable for both splitting rocks and skulls. The reversed axe blade used to clear debris and cleave flesh. Okay. There are 2 brigades of Vizian line infantry present. Oh, so like no more Ronnie's rock axe. Yeah, yeah, that's perfectly fine to me. Because we haven't even done anything like that. And I think I'm going a different direction with Vrana than originally. So it's all good. There are 2 brigades of Vizian line infantry present on the front line at any one time, with a further 2 stationed across fortified positions near the surface. Each brigade consists of roughly 3,000 Vizian infantry and is commanded by a colonel. The brigade is then further divided into regiments of 500 to 800 men, commanded by a major, usually the commanding officer of the fortification in which he is based. Unit structures beneath the major are fairly fluid and ad hoc, as is the nature of the war in which they fight. Officers underground may find themselves commanding hundreds of men or a simple handful. Until orders are received from above, unit commanders and NCOs must rely on their initiative. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah, I mean, this is right in line with everything that I kind of imagined the whole situation would be, right? Like, as the war drags on, it just gets worse and worse and worse, right? And the only time there's like small moments of like, what is the opposite? Like, whatever. So, any hope for what's going on is, because of something else that I came up with. Okay, perfect. So, let us continue on. So it looks like next is the Vizian Specialist Detachments. Perfect. There was actually one thing I wanted to add here too, so perfect timing. We'll do heading 2, and we'll do Specialist Detachments. Oops. So we start with heading 3, the Vizian Engineer Corps. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So specialist detachments specific to this region, and probably something we'll do some work with as far as like unique archetypes and all of that involved. I think will be fucking excellent. So I can definitely do the game design, all that stuff. Okay. All right. So the Vizian Engineer Corps. Originally a small force assigned to accompany the larger Vizian Expeditionary Force, VEF, the role of the Engineer Corps has greatly expanded, now rivaling the size of a brigade. Jesus Christ, of a brigade. The Vizian engineers are distributed throughout the maze of tunnels that crisscross the battlefield, charged with digging new tunnels, fortifying older ones, maintaining fortifications, and repairing damage from enemy counter-mining. The Engineer Corps is stretched to breaking and is hard-pressed to keep up with the dynamic nature of the war underground. Yeah, absolutely. Like, just as big as the fighter force is going to be, it absolutely has to have the ability to keep up with the, yeah, like you said, like the dynamic situation that is developing. Perfect. So the fuck is this? Okay. Alright. Sorry about that. I got the moderator only post, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought somebody was telling me something important. So yeah, absolutely. Like having the supply line and the just the ability to keep the war going as far as tunnels and all of that goes is extremely important. So without it, I think the war is over by Crodmus, but not in favor of the Vizian army, yeah? or the VEF, the Vizian Expeditionary Force. Okay, so up next we have the Tunnel Breacher Corps, also known as the Exterminators. Nice. So we do heading 3. Vizian Tunnel Breacher Corps. We'll say AKA Exterminators. Let's go here. Perfect. Vizzy and Ratmen footy match every Crobmas. Absolutely. Yeah. Every Crobmas. You know. Every new year they're told by this Crobmas we'll be done with this, you know. Yeah, maybe there's a no. It would be way too heavy on the World War One references. Even the Ratfolker put that day aside. There is no fighting on Crobmas. No, we're not doing that. Alright, so the Tunnel Breacher Corps, or the Exterminators. The Vizian army long ago learned not to storm Ratfolk tunnels as they would a human fortification. When countermining or flanking operations require new tunnels to be excavated, or enemy tunnels breached, the Exterminators provide close... Yeah, they fight more, exactly. The Exterminators provide close support for the Nervous Engineer Corps. Exterminators are armed with complex and highly prized gauntlet bows, heavy gauntlets fitted with repeating crossbows, perfect for sweeping the close confines of an enemy tunnel and then withdrawing to reload. Oh, that's fucking nice. So like a big heavy gauntlet, they just step forward, you know, fucking boom, 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 and they, you know, they have to. It takes like 5 minutes to reload, but that one shot is nasty. Absolutely. The gauntlet bow is, or the repeating crossbow is PF weapon. Either way, let me read it and then we'll go look at that. So the job of a hold off until the big weapon can fire. Yeah, or like hold the line until the big weapon can fire, something like that. So, the job of a tunnel breacher is fraught with danger. First contact with the enemy is in barely lit corridors, face to face with gnashing teeth and claws. It is not wise to surprise a rat in his hole. Phrasing, you know. The Exterminators are rewarded for their service, frequently rotated out of duty to rest and recuperate. Billeted in fortified barracks near the surface where the corruption is less severe. The air is fresher and the beds slightly less damp. Numbering some 1,000 men, the Tunnel Breacher Corps are deployed at the spear tip of any Vizian assault. Perfectly. Stats-wise, they're not actually good. Oh, really? Let's see. Gauntlet, bow, weapon base. So... Oh wow, so with a built-in crossbow and rotating for easy reloading. A gauntlet bow can be made to use... Oh! Can make melee attacks. But you can't reload with the hand wielding it. This weapon doesn't take up your hand. Capacity 4, parry. Can be used defensively to block. I don't know, it looks pretty cool, but I think... It's only reload 1 too. I think this is actually not bad as a weapon in Pathfinder. I think the only part is probably the capacity part. I think that might be like the only thing that might mess you up a little bit. But I don't know. Capacity 4. I guess maybe if reload 1 means you're reloading one of the chambers and not all of the chambers at once. Yeah. Then it might be shit, right? You might need like the gunslinger feats or something to kind of like the reload feats to do something real sick with it. Nice. All right. Yeah, 1 action to reload the whole bow. I don't think it's that bad. Sounds pretty pretty nice. As a weapon. Alright. The Gate Wardens. Okay, let us jump right into heading 3. Vizgrad Gate Wardens. Alright. So, whoop, there we go. So the Vizgrad Gate Wardens, less of an official specialism and more of a position of necessity. Wardens are by far the most important members of the VEF. Each Vizgrad tunnel, when fully excavated, is secured with a great portcullis. Nice. A pair of wardens have a single responsibility to ensure nothing and no one passes their threshold without orders. Wardens are grim men, often having to ignore the pleas of their comrades to open up when a neighboring tunnel has been breached. Having to ignore the direct command of panic-stricken officers desperate to flee, it is the warden's responsibility to seal and lock their portcullis, and in the event of a breach, to seal themselves inside the tunnel and pass their key through the bars to their opposite number. It is through this process that a new warden is appointed, often the unlucky man that finds himself catching a thrown key. That's very great visual imagery. So far, all but a handful of wardens have upheld their duty, preventing the ratfolk from capitalizing on a tunnel breach. The most secure portcullis rests at either end of the miles-long artery, defended on either side by a barbican and thick steel bars fortified to prevent the ratfolk from gaining access to Vizgrad itself. Of course, nothing prevents the ratfolk from simply burrowing around these gates. Vizgrad soldiers are ever alert for the sounds of hundreds of burrowing claws. They know that should the ratfolk breach the tunnel, there will be no escape. Viewer the First, hello. We're doing some community world building, specifically on one of the world building idea threads of this week, which is something we do in the community, where I essentially throw a topic to the community, and we see what the community can come up with as far as building out and fleshing out some things about the world. So currently we're working on the rat problem, which is a war between humans and rat folk. Your stuff is boring, Trill to sleep. He was so wide awake at the start of the stream. I'm perfectly fine. I don't know what you mean. You know, I'm good to go. I'll play some fucking soundboards. You know, we're in this, right? We're good to go. Don't worry. The yawn. Hey, it's been a long day. Hey, what are you gonna say? I yawned to... Yes. It sucks, I can't hear it. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. Oh, my fucking headset turned off. No shit. Alright. Wait, has this thing been... Okay, it's done to my other mic. Alright. I didn't even hear the clapping. That's stupid. Alright. I'm not gonna play it again though. But yeah, this is perfect. Someone comes up with an idea. Yeah, that was my idea. Yeah. Thanks. You know, I pat myself. I was playing Trackmania a couple minutes ago, and now I'm watching this. Nothing in common. Yeah. Trackmania is a fun game. Get on with it. Fapping. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, the visual imagery of the throne key is fucking real nice. We're on the clock here. Hey, you're on the clock, dude. I got all the time in the world. So alright. Up next is the heading 3. Yeah. The Vizgrad Special Forces, aka Rat Catchers. Nice. So, where are we at here? Let's drop that in, and Did you mean impotent? Jesus Christ. All right, so the rat catchers. To be a Vizian soldier requires grit and determination. To survive on the front lines of the deadly tunnel war requires skill, cunning, and no small amount of luck. But to thrive in such conditions requires something else entirely. Vizian special forces, or the rat catchers, are utterly murderous bastards. Some of their number are even veterans of the war from above ground, grizzled, hardened killers. Each and every man and woman has spent years of their lives on the ground. Each and every one marked by their long exposure to the corruption seeping from above. The rat catchers are expected to operate underground and away from the relative safety of the Vizian fortifications, cut off from communication with high command or other Vizian forces. The rat catchers have a singular mission to locate and exterminate rat kings and their subordinate lords. Rat catchers operate independently of the Vizian command structure, reporting directly to the Duke of Vizgrad. Armed with very expensive repeating crossbows, capable of laying down withering volleys of fire. These weapons are the elder brothers of the gauntlet bows wielded by the Exterminator Corps. It is common among the rat catchers for members to wear necklaces strung with the teeth or ears of slain rat folk. A platoon of around 30 veteran men and women commanded by Captain Hamlin, known as the Piper. Perfect. So, let me go up real quick, because we did Vizgrad, and I'm not sure if we... Yeah, it is the Duke. Okay. Yeah, so it's the Duke. I just want to make sure we use the right title there. Yeah, this reminds me of the, I forgot their specific title, but especially in the Vietnam War, often they would head out alone, far behind enemy lines and shit like that. Specific term for them. CIA guys. No, I think they were Army. Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol, LRP, is what it was called. LRP. LRP is what I was thinking of. They'd be out there. Rangers, yeah. But yeah, so 30. Yeah, it's LRRP, I believe. Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol. Yeah, LRRP. LRP. Pretty sure every character in the campaigns have committed war crimes. Yeah. We're yeah, LRP. So, deep range for derp. I'm derping. That's pretty good. I'm derping the fuck out. Yeah. Nice. I don't think... Oh, NARP, North Atlantic. So, I guess this is a sneak peek at the... what's to come for... Because I know... Be fast. If we changed our mind on the singular Rat King, ignoring the Pied Piper, I got it, dude. I saw it, the Piper. I got it. But yeah, so one thing to, I guess, fix here. So it'd be Rat Dukes. Nice. Morning Lord. Yeah. Ignoring the Pied Piper. Yeah. Dude, I got the Pied Piper reference, dude. It's all good. Don't fuck up my Rat King, I'll be saying. I was rebuked early in the day for not making meaningful contribution. Ram is just really serious about the Vizgrad stuff. He worked super hard. I knew he took that to heart. The banter went too far, dude. The banter went too far. Uh-oh. Nah, I'm just kidding. Perfect. So, I'm gonna go up here. Where the fuck are we? Oh wait, I'm here. Okay. So, yeah. Thing 3, I think. Right? Okay. There we go. Five-year. Okay. So this is just a change I'm putting at the merchant of the merchant republic of Vizgrad. So Vizgrad and the Rat War is just what I'm calling it. So, once a thriving merchant republic, the city of Vizgrad dominated trade in the region and was a key stopover point for merchants and travelers between Dukhan and Valdirus. Vizgrad had a thriving industry, powered by the main waterway on which it sits, ruled by a coalition of merchants and guildsmen. The greed of Vizgrad and their desire to further expand their wealth led to the fateful expedition of the Vizgrad Expeditionary Force. The city of Vizgrad's once diverse and flourishy economy is now solely turned to the produce of war. Its citizens forced to endure years of strict rationing. Embroiled in a 5-year-long war of which there seems to be no end, a vocal merchant leader by the name of Vizargo, leader of a coalition of arms manufacturers, seeks to supplant the power of the Republican Council and prosecute the war against the rat folk. Vizargo is gathering a rather... So maybe it's supplant the power of the Vizgradian Duke, right? And prosecute the war against the rat folk. Vizargo is gathering a rather large following amongst the citizens of Vizgrad. Desperate for an end to the conflict, Vizargo... Well, no. I think originally... I don't know what we had. I just have... This is the only thing I have for the Duke of Vizgrad, which was the position is an elected position for life and maintains control over all of the Republic's interest. Originally a vassal of Dukhan, since the fall they have gained a newfound autonomy. But I thought we came up with the idea, and maybe I just didn't fucking... Oh, here it is. The Republic is also supported by the floating crown, as the Duke has pledged his support for the Reynolds as the last remaining true royal house of Dukhan. In return to providing safe harbor and fealty, the floating crown guarantees Vizgrad's autonomy. So yeah, maybe we need to... Like, I think the original idea of an elected position was literally like the Dukhan royalty selected who the Duke of Vizgrad was, right? I think that was what we said by like elected, right? You know, like it was like a air quotes election, not yeah, not like the people choices. Yeah, a selected is a selected position for life. Yeah. Selected position for life, and maintain control over all the Republic's interests. Originally a vassal of Dukhan, since the fall they have gained a newfound autonomy. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works out, right? Just add the S. Exactly. It's selected. Okay. So then, in this case, it would seeks to supplant the power of the Vizgradian Duke, right? Maybe the thought here is that the Duke has a lot more, like, there's the focus of the war. Yeah, like maybe there is the Duke is like other priorities, or at least not wholly focused on the rat problem. Obviously, there's been a lot pushed in, like given into it. Yeah. Mentioned it earlier, but nationalists versus their new independence. War propaganda conceal the whole being supported. Nationalists versus their new independence. Like the war propaganda could be sort of supporting their new independence to conceal the whole thing being supported by the floating crown. I'm not sure there's a negative to blatantly supporting the floating crown and allowing. Well, I don't fucking know. You know, I'm gonna make a note on this and then we'll come back to it. Yeah, it's only just become independent, and so it would be like, because literally Dukan fell, right? Like months ago, I think is where we're at. Whereas this has been raging for years, exactly. Yeah, so maybe even like Dukan was always like supporting this fight as well, right? Like maybe there's Dukani, veterans that are still in Vizgrad, still fighting the war. I mean, that's not even a maybe, that is for sure, right? Yeah, so potential fruits. So we did the potential fruits one, but yeah, I'm gonna make a note on this. How the fuck should I word this note so I don't immediately come back to it and just forget exactly the context of it? I'm gonna do independence and say Duke interaction voting ground plus Vizargo. Okay. Yeah, clarity on the Vizgrad political. I put independence and Duke interaction with floating crown plus Vizargo. So that'll tell me everything I need to know. Yeah, because if we go right here, right, embroiled in a 5-year-long war, of which there seems to be no end, a vocal merchant leader by the name of Vizargo promised new influx of arms and equipment. Oh yeah, seeks to supplant the power of the Vizgradian Duke and prosecute the war against the rat folk. Vizargo is gathering a large following amongst the citizens, desperate for an end to the conflict. Vizargo promises a new influx of arms and equipment to the front lines, overwhelming new firepower to crush the rat folk and their warrens once and for all. Already seeming to be making good on his promise, an entire regiment of newly equipped and outfitted men armed with repeating crossbows and sturdy plate are en route to the front line via the artery. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, we'll talk about it because I like the idea that the Vizgradian Duke is probably a bit more, we need to expand our alliances to actually win this war, whereas Vizargo is probably saying like, we've got it now, let's just do it now, right? And maybe the Duke is like, that's a hasty decision. Yeah. So, for sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to it at the end, and touch on it. Yeah, economy. Yeah, like obviously, right? Like other things have to be done, to even keep up the war, right? So we got into conversations about Rat King, actual rats versus not a person, mutated by the. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we have a key figure of the war. Yeah, Vizargo is like, let's win the war, and then we can worry about that other stuff. And the Vizgradian Duke is like, we need to worry about this other stuff to even have a chance at winning the war, right? So it's like, it's 2 points of view, right? We can win it now, and then we'll be okay. Or we need to do this other stuff just to have a chance to win, right? depending on who you believe, right? There's probably like 2 supporting sides to that thing. Okay, so heading 3. Yeah, Jan Skron. Field Marshal Jan Skron. Jan Skron. Oh, nice. Jan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jan. Okay, so Field Marshal Jontron. That's what I was hearing in my head when I was saying the word. Once a daring young cavalry officer on loan from the Hussars of Avlar, I forgot how we decided. Skron was employed by the city of Vizgrad to train their burgeoning cavalry force. Jan Templar. Avlur, yeah. Attaché to the cavalry commander of the VEF, Skron was a veteran of countless skirmishes against brigands, robber barons, and opportunistic Volgian warbands. When the VEF left to campaign in the Phage, Skron was a part of the expedition, so he's been there from the beginning. Leading his troop of hussars in training, Skron was present when the Ratfolk were first engaged. His hussars were woefully unprepared for the fighting conditions within the Phage. Skron's commanding officer was killed in the initial confrontations with the Ratfolk, the VEF suffering horrendous casualties to corruption and repeated Ratfolk ambushes. Skron himself led a courageous yet ultimately futile charge against the pursuing Ratfolk in an effort to give the VEF time to regroup and retreat. Most of Skron's cavalry troop died during the initial VEF excursion into the Phage. There. Skron himself barely making it out of the forest alive. Those that did survive, including Skron himself, suffered horrific side effects of the exposure to corruption. Skron's once handsome features permanently marred, his body racked with painful coughing fits. His life is only sustained by an exorbitantly expensive cocktail of ointments, potions, and balms. Initially mistrusted as an outsider by the rulers of Vizgrad, Skron was swiftly promoted to Field Marshal of the VEF after the tragic defeat in the Phage. Mostly through dint of being one of the most experienced and senior officers left alive, but also due to his very nature as an outsider, Skron has no loyalty to any one faction in Vizgrad, and so could not easily be bought or swayed. He appeared to the perfect candidate to prosecute the war against the Ratfolk, free of any political lobbying. Skron, physically, is a shell of the man he once was, but his mind burns passionately with the fire of revenge. Having survived the initial VEF encounter, Skron dedicated his career to adapting his troops to the Ratfolk menace, to preparing them to face the conditions of the Phage. Despite his disabilities, Skron still regularly makes his way to the front line and can be seen coordinating operations from Quititars. Long ago, abandoning the use of cavalry, Skron still maintains a small retinue of picked men styled after the Hussars of Avlor. Though they very rarely see combat, Skron forgoes the fashionable wings that have become common amongst the officers of the VEF to conceal their corruption-induced baldness, wearing scars of his affliction proudly. Skron will not return to his home of Avlor until he has his vengeance. Yeah, that's perfect. A great NPC. Scars and baldness aren't very exciting. Give him something fucked up. Yeah. Let's think. Or maybe I can read something. Yeah, I think his whole physique is like totally fucked. Like he can... Yeah, but he's supposed to be proud of it. Yeah. Chop off his arm. Darth Vader, no helmet. Super burned. No nose. Chemically burned. Just all scrunkly. Scrunkly. That's a good word. Yeah. He's like Acid splashed. Yeah, I got that from the description, but yeah. It's like wearing the scars, but the fact that he's like acid splash, right? He's just he's done. Yeah. Scrunkly. Yeah. That was beef. Scrunkly. Never mind, Milk said it. It's okay. Alright, so let's see. Say permanently marred, his face. Well, Scrawn's once handsome features permanently marred kind of tells you that it's truly fucked, right? Yeah. Alright. Alright, I see the end to this side of things. We are getting there slowly but surely. Heading 3. So we have the artery. Lifeline of the VF. Perfect. So the artery. You think I'm gonna scroll up past all my Q? Yeah. So, when the VEF first left Vizgrad, it was assumed by many that there would be little to no resistance within the phage. Rumors of monsters and strange goings on in the forest were well known, but few believed them to be more than ghost stories. When the ratfolk were then encountered, the VF saw what they believed to be nothing more than monstrous animals. Vizian command were certain that the well-equipped VF would swiftly eradicate them and secure the phage for Vizgrad. Little was known about the effect of the phage's corruption or the extent of the ratfolk's true presence in the area, and thus the VEF supply and logistical support were completely unsuitable when the tide of war dramatically changed. Once the VEF had dug in and begun establishing fortifications within the phage, the issue of navigating the corruption in order to resupply the troops became immediately apparent. Relying on horses and mules to transport supplies was unreliable at best, so a new solution was devised to transport men and materials to the front line. A great excavation was envisioned, requiring the specialist oversight of dwarf experts brought in specifically to manage the project. Excavation of the tunnel running from the fortress of Quititars in the southern reaches of the phage directly. We may need to plot this on the map. See, directly north to the outskirts of Vizgrad. It's because Vizgrad is there and then the phage is above it. The tunnel runs, I don't know. Like, Yeah, so it's north. How long should the tunnel run? Let's... Yeah, I was thinking about 50 to 100 miles. I was thinking if I should go 100 and just settle on 100, or if I should like try to be a bit more, whatever the word is, conservative, and go 50. Let's meet in the middle. Let's see, 75 miles. There we go. Right in between. All right. Yeah, we'll settle on 75. and is roughly 30 feet wide and 15 feet high. Running along the center of the tunnel is a trackway, allowing for horses to draw cartloads of supplies from Vizgrad to the front. There are small way stations at regular intervals within the tunnel to allow men and beasts of burden to rest before continuing onward. The artery is very literally the lifeline of the VEF. Frequent supply runs occur, allowing for materials to then be distributed from Quiditars to the other scattered fortresses via underground their connections. Take a few days to travel. To travel the artery? Yeah, like a 3-day, 5 if it's, if you have wheel problems and shit. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I don't think it's in the city. Yeah, so I think you have to like make your way outside of the city, get to the, the entrance to the artery, and then you start from there. Yeah. The artery is heavily fortified as detailed further above, for if it should fall, the VF will be swiftly starved within their fortresses. Yeah, for sure. Alright, that sounds good to me. Alright, what is next? Oh, Quiditars. Nice. Heading 3. Quiditars. Boom. Alright. So, does this go back further up? Okay, everything's fine. Alright. Oh, the artery entry is a cliff tunnel on the coast as a sheltered harbor, perhaps. Oh, no shit. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Yeah, let me, So then it has to be on foot further, right? Like, I mean, I guess you could put like horses on a ship, but, nice. So then I think we do, even longer distance then, right? Because oh shit. Well, I'm thinking, so we have Vizgrad, we have the waterway that comes through both the Loxphage, and then Vizgrad is right next to the freshwater way, and then that's what the fucking Kelpies are used for. What if we, damn, is there a way I can fucking show this picture? Yeah. Alright. This is gonna be like a really stupid roundabout way to doing this, but I'm gonna do it. To show exactly where I'm thinking, I'm gonna put this over this. Alright, so I want to show an image. Let's say map. Hit OK. Download. I want to pull up the map itself. Okay, you see how huge this map is? Okay. Fuck, you cannot see my mouse over it. Shit. Damn. Alright. Well, I think that kind of fucked up my plan. Is there no way to like zoom in on this thing? Or like show what I... is there like a drawing function on OBS? Like, what the fuck, man? Alright. I'm just gonna get rid of this. It's fucking stupid. Well, actually, I'm gonna leave it on the screen for a moment. So you see where Vizgrad is. A screen share an MS Paint window. Well, I need this though. But Fucking, are you showing our move? Yes. Yeah. Copy paste the map into Paint. Can you? Let me see. I don't know if I have Paint. I have the Paint app. Is this like? Can I copy paste this? Paste. Paste for. Oh, I can. Okay, and then I just have to show this. Oh shit! You're a genius, dude. All right. So how do I show this? Is it window? Is it a window capture? So Paint. Okay. Oh, nice. It's right there. Okay. So I'm gonna put it here for a second. So what I was thinking. I can zoom in. Jesus, that's too much. Okay. So you're seeing this. All right. So we have Vizgrad here, right? What do I have? What if we put the entrance to the artery like somewhere over? No, I want to draw, dude. Brush. Over here. You see that? Right? Because the idea is that the artery goes this way into the phage. So it's definitely on the outskirts by quite a bit. And yeah, we reduced the size of the phage. So the idea is that the new phage is probably no, I'm not going to do that. The new phage is probably like something like that. Right? Much smaller than it used to be. Or I don't know, maybe it's like whatever. You're definitely not going to get me to do what you're requesting. So so but yeah, like what if it was over here by the mountains? That makes like sense for a more like cliff open, you know, from the water, rather than having it like way down here, right? Mountain cliff off on the coast would give the height for a tunnel harbor to take a masted ship. Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only thing is like if it's closer here, like the only places closer are going to be like here, which is further, you know, and here, which is also even further than this location, like as far as the actual distance traveled. Right. And I think the closest you can get while also commanding like the harbor and stuff, probably more important. And yeah, troops would travel either by, you know, like right by foot along the coast or by ship to go around, right? I could also extend the mountain range. Yeah, I guess you're right, right? To bring like maybe add like a couple more mountains down into this whole area, right? That could be something. So then it could be like if we extended the mountain range down, then it could potentially be like, oh, but even then, like it adds more travel time, but the distance from the because the idea is like the distance from from the beginning of the artery itself, right? Like if it's too long, then there's a lot of issues with it, right? Whereas we can't have it too close to Vizgrad, but we can't have it like, you know, I'm trying to think of like in terms of like effectiveness, right? You're probably gonna try to get as close. Yeah. You're probably gonna try to be as close as you can be rather than, yeah, because it's further, you know, like if it's closer here, you're adding much longer distance is what I'm thinking, and it gets to the point where we're having to do like like we're getting to the point I think it's like almost unreasonable. Not unreasonable, but kind of crazy. I don't know. Yeah, maybe come back to that. Yeah, I like the idea of it, like essentially going through the mountains to, you know, wherever it is. But yeah, let's see where the artery begins. Trying to figure out where the artery begins, but we're gonna come back to it. So I'm gonna close that pane for now. All right. So then, let's do Quititars. All right. Quititars started life as a hastily dug foxhole scratched out of the dirt by panicked VEF engineers desperate for refuge. Excavation began within weeks of the retreat from the Phage, VEF troops attempting to form a beachhead to resist the pursuing ratfolk. As more troops arrived, the foxhole was expanded to accommodate them, becoming a key pocket of resistance for the VEF to cling to. With the initial flux of recruits from Vizgrad came a new need to expand Quititars still further. It was at this point, months into the ratfolk conflict, that an area of forest around the dugout was cleared, a palisade wall was erected, and a stout keep was built. With the clearance of the forest came thicker concentrations of corruption. The men and women of the engineer corps digging down into the earth to provide some shelter from its influence. Beneath Quititars were dug billets, armories, storehouses, and a rudimentary infirmary, all requiring further timber to be cut. As more fresh recruits arrived to Quititars, the earthworks expanded ever downwards. With further expansion came further logging, and with further logging came denser corruptive forces. This cycle of expansion was repeated on a smaller scale across the Vizian holdouts within the Phage. As the fortresses were expanded to accommodate the new influx of warriors, so too did the corruption thicken. Quititars, pragmatically named as is the way of Vizians, now stands as the gateway into a blasted wasteland of corruption and death, the air tainted with the foul miasma of the Phage, whilst unassuming from the surface, the true marvel of the Quititars exists under the earth, descending deep below the ground. Even the engineer corps cannot be entirely certain how many tunnels have been excavated. A small city's worth of inhabitants are housed within the sprawling network of tunnels and antechambers. Quititars also serves as the primary fortification guarding the artery from above. In the bowels of the fortification lie the great underground barbican defending the Phage side entrance to the artery. Inscribed mockingly across the barbican it reads, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." The wooden keep and walls above ground have long since been replaced with squat square stone, far more effective at preventing the corruption from seeping within. Above ground, Quititars has no windows, the stones seamlessly joined together by the skilled hands of dwarvish stonemasons. Giant brass and kelpie-hide bellows work night and day, pumping fresh air from outside the corrupting influence of the Phage around the keep and down into the depths of the tunnel via a complex network of pipes. I really like this idea, though I don't know if the corruption itself should be airborne, not that Vizians would know. Yeah, I think like they would think it is, so then they would do this, right? Whether this is true or not doesn't matter, because they're gonna do it right, like a just out of like, you know, the thought that it could be the case. Within the keep are barracks and storerooms, the pumping station, officers' mess, and command center of the Vizian front line. Yeah, they would need fresh air regardless. If artery supplies the blood of the war effort, Quititars is the beating heart of the VEF. Quititars is commanded by Colonel Balthazar Razak, a veteran of the Rat War and ruthlessly brutal commander of the battalion Quititars, K Battalion. That's funny. K Battalion. The colonel thinks nothing of ordering hundreds of men to their death in order to ensure the safety of Kuditars. His famous motto, losses are acceptable, failure is not, speaks to his commanding style. Yeah, another great NPC tacked on to the end of a great description of the location. Yeah, I like the idea that it was thought like, oh, the wood will work, and then it became very obvious that the wood doesn't work as well, at the very least. And so, you know, it was like, fuck, we didn't have to cut that at all, right? And now shit won't grow at all, right? So there's no replacing what once was used to stop things. Yeah, so I think that's great. Yeah, they've actually made it worse actively. Yeah. And there's no replacing what was lost, so they're just fucked in that regards. Perfect. All right. And I think, all right, the last part will be these two. Oh yeah, these are nice. I'll put both here under heading 2 as like Vizgradian special equipment, right? And the first one can be heading 3. Tremor sense. There we go. Yeah, the tree filters are just overwhelmed by too much corruption. Exactly. Like they had it, it was okay at first, and then it just, as each tree was felled, you know, and now there's just no chance of rebuilding, or even like maybe there's been attempts at trying to replant. Tremor sensor. Oh yeah, tremor sensor. Because the feat does exist. Yeah, I guess it's good to make sure people don't get like confused. So, a relatively new invention shipped in by request from Dwarvish settlements. The fact that it comes from Dwarvish settlements is also perfectly like works because dwarves have tremor sense. Yeah. Tremor sensor. Yeah. Yeah. A tremor sensor is commonly used in dwarf mines to detect an imminent tunnel collapse or earthquake. These devices are large and esoteric, providing limited use to troops in the cramped and treacherous confines of the front line. The handful that have arrived have been installed in critical locations throughout the front line to give advanced warning of any encroaching ratfolk advances. We'll do activity. Advanced warning, advances, activity. Say activity to avoid advance twice. Vizargo Smithing has publicly pledged to reverse engineer these devices and mass produce man-portable ones within the year. There are even rumors that prototype devices are already en route to the front alongside a new regiment of troops for field testing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thump Thinker, Ground Ear. Maybe Ground Ear could be like the the diminutive. Oh, whoops, I skipped over the other one. All right. Copy. So, next one. The portable tremor the portable tremor sensor. It's just a dwarf. I'm just kidding. It's just a dwarf. Yeah. Alright, the third one. And then this is the Phage Finder. Alright. So, yeah, this one's called Balin. Yeah. Alright. Phage Finder. Based on designs used to locate veilstone deposits located deep underground, a Phage Finder is a delicate and complex device of copper and brass wiring, finely cut glass, and a central housing of silver. Within the housing is a small magic-infused emerald. When entering areas of heavy phage corruption, the emerald will begin to glow a bright green. As the user moves away from the corruption, the light will begin to dim. These devices are portable, requiring both hands to carry and operate. They are extremely delicate and prone to malfunction in the dirt-filled tunnels of the front line. Yeah, the sensor from the aliens. Exactly what I read it as too. They're also invaluable, giving units luck enough to possess one, a rough idea of areas of corruption to avoid. Oh, lucky enough to possess one, a rough idea. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The sensor from the aliens, right? The beep, 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 beep. And you can see them moving. That's a good one. Nice. So, also thinking rat sniffers, but I'm not sure it's necessary. Yeah, I think. Smell them. Yeah. I was thinking the rats give off corruption. I mean, that's definitely something I already did. There are special rats that give off corruption, as we shall see when we begin our foray into the rat side of the kingdom. Spread it like the plague. It's worse than that. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think all this is fucking sick, man. Before we jump into rants, I hope I wasn't too on the nose with any one inspiration. I think like I think if you like this stuff, it's very on the nose, but I don't think it's like super on the nose, you know? Like the Phage Finder, I think like if you're aware of aliens, you're like, that's aliens, right? Like right away. But I think like it's also not like, you know, it's not overly, you know. If you had gone like, and it emits a beeping sound, I'd be like, all right, dude, like, you know, all right, that's a little bit, you know, now you're just doing the exact, it's fucking, you know, like with no, it's not on the nose, you're just, it's 1-to-1. But yeah, I think everything is, I guess, at least for me, I feel like I figured out all the, or rather I was aware of all the references, but nothing felt like super crazy, you know. Nice. It'll all be over by Crodmus. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed that phrase when it came to with the World War in general, right? I've always thought that was solid. Yeah, so now it's my go for sure. And so do I want to mess with any of this stuff before we jump into the water rat? Yeah, ratty ratus. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think. Here comes Master Splinter, you know? That is the Rat King. Master Splinter. Part 1 complete. Halfway to Lorgasm. Yeah, we're on the way. So here's Clan. Yeah, Clan Scryer. Vinegar strokes, exactly. Let's take a breather. You know, with their warp stone flamethrowers. Yeah. So, all right. I'm gonna hold off on the noted stuff, like where the artery began, the Duke interaction with the floating crown, and all that shit, as well as like the fruit thing, which is just like a flavor thing. I'm gonna hold off that until after the rat portion. So I hope they're like Cybermen but rats. I think they're not at all what you expect. So we've got the Vizgrad and the Vizgrad Expeditionary Force. Okay, so now we're down here at my beginnings of the rats. So check the repeater crossbow. For what? Repeating crossbow. Yeah, it does shoot 3 shots per turn. I mean, each with like a negative, right? Like the multi-attack penalty, but it does. And it doesn't take, oh fuck, and it doesn't take any reload time, so you can just reload all 5 immediately, and then add a jam mechanic. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Repeating crossbow magazine. Oh, but you have to have repeating crossbow magazines. So you can only have so many. Yeah. It means you can shoot 3 times per round. Well, yeah, reload 0 means it takes 0 actions to reload. Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, as far as I know it, reload, it's 0 between shots. Are you sure? Let's see. While all weapons need some time to get into position, many ranged weapons also need to be loaded and reloaded. This entry indicates how many interact actions it takes to reload such weapons. This can be 0 if drawing ammunition and firing are part of the same action. If an item takes 2 or more actions to reload, the GM determines whether they can be performed as an activity, or they can spend some of those actions and then rest during. An item with an entry of blank must be drawn to be thrown, which usually takes interact action. Reloading a ranged weapon and drawing a thrown both require free hand. Switching your grip to free, and then so oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get it. It's a 5-shot crossbow. Yeah, so then actually the repeating crossbow kind of, I see what you mean, that it kind of sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so it takes a whole turn to reload. I mean, shooting 5 times, I guess it depends on the type of combat. It does apply a map to each shot. It absolutely does. Yeah. So yeah, then it's actually not that bad of a weapon. I mean, it is kind of bad, but it's also not that bad. That's a stupid way to say it. Oh, but it's also 2-handed, so you have to have both hands. So yeah, it really isn't that good. Yeah. I don't even know if I would add the jam mechanic because it really seems like a shit item. But it would be good for tunnel clearing. Yeah. I think like the fact that it takes a whole turn, it would like that suggests combat on like a, I mean, it would take a whole turn plus the majority of your next turn, right, to get through the magazine, and then you'd have to spend a whole turn spray and pray at -3. Oh, so you just hence the bayonet. Yeah. And then it turns into basically like a 2-handed bayonet type weapon. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, fits better than bows and tunnels for sure. Yeah, makes it a dagger with reach. I feel like it'd almost be like a spear though, right? If you're imagine if you're two-handing it, maybe the bayonet is like a bit larger, so then you're fucking, you know, you don't even think giving it reach. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. It's like if you've ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn. I think there's a character that has something like that. All right. So we'll say, what should we call this? The rat. I think we'll just call it the Blightborn. So well, actually, yeah, the Blightborn. So we will begin with the. So we have the artery. We have all of that. So I think the best place to start is the. Let's see, heading through. We've been using 2, I think. No, this will be 3. The vermin tangle. So my idea is that so we have the area that is essentially done by either the Vizian expeditionary force and all that, but then we have the tunnels and all of the shit created by the rats themselves, their whole tunnel network system, right? So we got like these 2 tunnel network systems, and both kind of, you know, clash with each other at a specific location, which we'll talk about next, right? But first, we'll be descriptive of their territory. So whenever the VF is going after the whenever the VF is going after, right, like into the territory of the rats, rather than holding the line, so to speak, they're heading into the vermin tangle, right? And so here is the description, and then okay. The sound keeps dropping. Maybe it's just me stopping talking. It might be. That might be the case, is what I'm saying. Actually, yeah, I think we're gonna go with a heading 2 here, the vermin tangle, because then we're gonna get to the other things. So here, is one part. And okay. So, am I missing? Oh yeah, here we go. There's a few more paragraphs I gotta get. Just want to make sure. Okay, and then I want to, if I do it from there. Okay. All right. So the vermin tangle. So I used scorched here because I wasn't sure, but I'll just fix this word. So deep beneath the scorched surface of the once thriving forest, the phage, right? So of the phage lies the vermin tangle, an intricate subterranean labyrinth that echoes with the. I am an idiot with writing. That I don't know. with the sounds of the air within this underground realm is heavy and suffused with the scent of damp earth, mingled with the unmistakable odor of decay. Twisting tunnels carved through the compacted soil and rocks wind and intersect in a bewildering network that seems to stretch on endlessly. The walls are rough-hewn, coated with layers of grime, moss, and patches of luminescent fungi that emit a sickly green glow, casting eerie, shifting shadows that dance and writhe along the passage walls. As one ventures deeper into the vermin tangle, the tunnels widen into a vast, dimly lit cavern. Their ceilings adorned with clusters of stalactites dripping with moisture. The flickering light of torches or faintly growing mushrooms reveals a sight both unsettling and awe-inspiring. The cavern walls are etched with crude symbols and runes, denoting the Blightborn's presence and their allegiance to the Rat King. Sounds reverberate through the tunnels, a symphony of echoing whispers, the skittering of countless tiny paws, and the distant murmur of the Rat King's hive mind. The air is alive with a constant low hum, a collective murmuring that seems to emanate from the very walls themselves, a manifestation of the Rat King's influence. Occasionally, hidden alcoves and chambers branch off of the main passageways, serving as makeshift quarters, armories, and communal spaces for the Blightborn. These chambers are adorned with ragged banners and crude murals depicting the triumphs and horrors of their war-torn existence. The glow of ember-lit braziers bathes the surroundings in an eerie, flickering light. The Vermintangle is a realm shrouded in darkness, where the boundaries between nature and corruption blur. Within its depths, the Blightborn, with their twisted forms and gleaming red eyes, move with an eerie grace, their steps silent and their actions guided by the Rat King's hive mind. In this underground domain, the tunnels serve as both defense and offense, a relentless network that allows the Blightborn to strike swiftly and vanish into the shadows just as swiftly. It is a domain of secrets where the rats conspire and plan, ever vigilant against intruders from the surface. So, that is my description of the Vermintangle, which is, the idea is that the VEF has their own tunnels that they're very aware of, and then when they're, the realm of the rats, right, heading into, their, like, when you're fighting on their territory. And I also did, here we go. We kind of overlapped on this, but I'll add it anyways, and then we can kind of meet in the middle. Actually, no, I mean, I did like a description of the phage, but, yeah, let's see. Whose idea wins? Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking a break again. Sorry. I'm going over it to see how much I like and how much I dislike. Sorry. So I got near. I just yeah. Here. Yeah. Well, I'm seeing what was already done, and because it's really just like a description of like what the topsoil looks like, right? So the idea here was that if you were to travel along the topsoil area, right, what the phage used to be, what you would see, right? Okay, so lots of tree carcasses. Yeah. All right, so let's do heading what the 3, the phage. All right, so let me okay. So if you were to travel along the topsoil, the phage, right, this is the stuff that you would be seeing and hearing and blah blah blah. So the phage, a desolate expanse born from the ravages of war and the scars of relentless tunnel fighting. Once a thriving land of lush forests and vibrant life, it now stands as grim testament to the ferocity and devastation unleashed upon it. The air hangs heavy with an acrid stench, a blend of charred earth and decay, and the sickly sweet aroma of corruption. As far as the eye can see, the landscape is marred by a network of twisted tunnel and trenches, snaking through the scorched topsoil. The ground is a treacherous patchwork riddled with sinkholes and unstable terrain, a result of constant tunneling and explosive warfare. But little vegetation remains as sickly and mutated, with twisted, gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, their leaves tinged with hues of sickly green and sicklier yellow. The sky, yeah, explosive, I don't know. Like, the idea would be that, like, when fighting them, if you see you're getting overwhelmed, you blow the tunnel, right? You collapse it, even if you have to make the hard choice. It was bombed with the taverns, exactly. So the sky above the phage is a perpetual gloom, with ashen clouds casting a muted pallor over the desolate scene. Faint traces of smoke rise from hidden subterranean chimneys, hinting at the hidden warrens of the Blightborn below. Jagged rock formations, shattered remnants of once grand landmarks, jut out from the scarred ground, their surfaces cracked and pitted from the countless clashes. Every step taken in the phage is accompanied with the crunch of scorched soil and the occasional skittering of vermin. Ratfolk sentries lurk in the shadows, their mottled fur blending seamlessly with the ruined surroundings. The air is alive with tension, as if the very land itself holds its breath, waiting for the next clash between the Blightborn and their foes. So, here and there, remnants of hastily constructed barricades and fortifications dot the landscape, makeshift defenses that crumble under the weight of constant conflict. The sound of distant skirmishes echoes through the tunnels, a symphony of clashing steel, muffled cries, and the haunting whispers to the Rat King's hive mind. In the phage, the scars of war are etched into every inch of the land, a grim reminder of the unyielding struggle that has consumed this once beautiful forest. It is a place where shadows dance, secrets linger, and the presence of the Blightborn looms ominously, a constant threat in this twisted, war-torn domain. Yeah, because my idea was that, like, even if the war is had below, like, there's still gonna be, if the rats can deal with the phage and deal with the corruption, right? Occasionally they probably do something along the surface, right? They probably feel more comfortable fighting underground. That's the idea, but the Rat King is not blind to all tactics. So there would still be this idea that maybe, just maybe there's surface happenings. Very rare, right? Not what is most common, but on occasion. Safe picnic spot for Ratty, exactly.
We shall not abandon the dream.
What the fuck? CJ some days. What's up, what's up? Hey, I appreciate the raid. Guess we're the problem, huh? Rat gang, rat gang. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Odriel. The rats have arrived. Exactly. Rat jam, rat jam. Nana Ki, Kaihira. Odriel 1006. My hottest stream yet. Yeah. We got the fucking rats going crazy. How you doing? If you're not aware or not guess we're the problem, huh? Fucking good. We're working on something community world building stuff. This is in the community. We do some stuff. Appreciate the follows. CJ some days had a frame. Absolutely. We're doing some community world building stuff. It's in the Discord. We have a lot of stuff where we bring in new people, or rather, I bring in the ability to I post an idea, a world building idea thread, and then the community is allowed to kind of give suggestions, and we do some community world building stuff. So appreciate you all checking it out. Appreciate the raid for sure. What you been up to? What were you? Whoops. CJ some days. What's up? All right. Also doing some Dungeons and Dragons stuff. We actually play Pathfinder, but you know it's all D&D at the end of the day, right? As it all melds down. So gotcha. So less live suggestions in the chat and more of the Discord at a time. It's actually both. Yeah, it's both in the live chat, but also stuff like that. Yeah, what was CJ stream? Based around a monthly, then voted on by chat. Oh, very cool. Yeah. It's actually like Beef said, like the Discord kind of preps some of the content, so we're not sitting here for 2 hours kind of figuring out how to write stuff. But Sands of the Ancient, essentially desert shit. Oh, very cool. Nice. So do you run like a similar kind of setup? A Snake Blood Cold. Oh shit, man. Fucking sounding real nice. So do you run like a similar situation in your Discord where it's like the world of, whatever setting you kind of have it? Go from there. Yeah, we're doing trench warfare, but in tunnels, and it's rats. It's basically like World War I meets rats meets tunnels rather than trench, right? That's kind of like where we're going with this one. Hellgast. Yeah, a little bit of Hellgast, a little bit of things of that nature. We're in the right place, rats. Exactly. Is that the I mean, you got the rats. CJ some rat dance. So is it big on the rats in CJ stream or in the community? Yeah. And everything we design each month gets turned into a monthly magazine called Elysium. Oh no shit. That sounds fucking pretty sick, dude. Not really one main setting, but each month is its own setting. Oh no! So essentially you do like a setting a month, and it's like a kind of like the main focus. Then do you like run games in it, and then explore it a little bit through game, through world building, and then move on from there, or is it just like world building strictly? Do we dare mention the stream's unofficial title? What is that, Sniper? Have I already forgotten what I have named my own stream? This is my one setting to replace them all. It is, yeah. Ekros for me is the loregasm. Yeah. Fair enough. We actually did a World War I meets Demons and Devils a couple months ago. So Trench Warfare meets the Abyss. Oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah. The big reason that we didn't do Specific trench was because like you know, I thought like tunnels are a little bit scarier, you know. So yeah. No guns. Yeah, no guns was the big thing. Yeah. When you have a gun, it shoots, you know, straight for hundreds, right? That's the kind of. I should let you have gun. Yeah, trenches don't work if unless you got some guns, right? I should let you have guns. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. So there were demon mechs. Oh shit. Yeah, that's a full on. Pretty sick. All right. So, why can't we have nice things? Because you love to, because you're all maybe I should be better. Yeah. Let you have some nice thing. You can't trust chat with guns. Yeah. It's because y'all really enjoy, you know. Let's summarize what we have so far. I have to I have some stuff to knock out real quick. Let me let me finish up the rat shit. Come on, man. So okay. Really dragging out. Bro. Don't fuck with me. You're there we go. Alright. So need to screen cap the evidence, that's the issue. Yeah. Have I ever done you harm and left evidence? That's exactly it. Exactly it. It's I think the big part about this is like you give these community members, you know, you give them an inch and they'll take a fucking mile, right? That's the that's the big part. So all right, up next we have the convergence crawl. We're called mods. Yeah. I have mods to control the rabble. Yeah, they've done a great job so far. So thank you so much. Oh yeah. Technically, you're not a mod here, bud. You're not a mod here, bud. So, all right. The convergence crawl. This is the location where the VEF meets the Vermintangle. Right. So, here we go. So. Let me read this through. The convergence crawl. The convergence crawl, or the convergence, stands as a testament to the merging of two twisted regions, a place where the darkness of the Vizgrad tunnels converges with the nightmarish depths of the Vermintangle. As one ventures deeper into the tunnels, the oppressive air grows heavier, and a sense of impending doom pervades the atmosphere. At the convergence crawl, the smooth man-made architecture of the Vizgrad tunnels gives way to a jagged and haphazard amalgamation of excavated earth and the naturally formed labyrinthine network of the Vermintangle. The walls of the tunnel have become rough and gnarled, interspersed with sporadic bursts of luminescent fungi, clinging to the decaying roots that protrude from the earthen walls. Dim flickering torches mounted along the tunnels cast dancing shadows that play tricks on the eyes, revealing the glimpses of movement that may be real or imagined. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and the unmistakable musk of the rat folk, an olfactory cocktail that triggers a primal unease. The convergence crawl is a place where reality and nightmare converge, where the boundaries between the known and the unknown blur. Strange whispers seem to echo through the passage, carried by unseen currents that twist and warp with every gust of subterranean wind. Occasional drafts against the face, carrying them a chill that seeps to the very bones. It is said that in the convergence crawl, the boundaries between friend and foe become tenuous. Vizgrad's soldiers move cautiously, their senses heightened and their gazes constantly scanning for any sign of the lurking Blightborn. Their footsteps echo with a mix of determination and trepidation, a reminder of the grave danger that awaits them in the heart of the vermin tangle. The Convergence Crawl is an unsettling juncture, where the grit and determination of the Vizgrad Expeditionary Force meets the twisted darkness of the Blightborn's realm. It serves as the gateway into the depths of the vermin tangle, a place where the forces of light and shadow collide in a battle for dominance. So, the way I had it, like, mentally, at least, and I think would be really cool, is like, it is very obvious. Like, I mean, I almost wanted to give like a description where there's like 10 feet of just complete open space that like you can look up and you can see the, you know, thousands of tunnels along the other side when you're standing on the Vizgrad Expeditionary Force side. So when you like come out, yeah, the crawl, yeah, the convergence sounds a tad derivative, but I like the crawl. Yeah. I wasn't too big on the name either. I was just kind of like, this will be it, like the convergence, the, you know, for sure. Jesus Christ. Sway. Who the fuck did that? Okay. It says what it is nicely, the crawl. Yeah, and I think it fits more with like the artery and the terms that we've kind of used and built up specifically for everything else that we've been using, right? So I think that's a great idea, but you know, I'm not big on names. I'm not great at names, is what I should say. Yeah, Vizian's being fairly pragmatic. Okay. Yeah, so I'll go ahead. Yeah, I think the crawl. Yeah. TNC. Yeah. In the crawl. The convergence. Let's do crawl. The crawl. Deathcore. Yeah. I wanted to actually fuck, that's something I had. We'll come back to it at the end. But there was two special forces that I had in mind that weren't added already that I wanted to throw in personally for the special forces or whatever. The coral. Yeah. Trill speaking conventions, that's next then. It's not just the naming, it's the motherfucking it's the shit I say. Yeah. The crawl whale. Alrighty. Cool. Do it in a Dutch woman's accent? Nah, I don't think so, buddy. Okay. The crawl wheel. There we go. The crawl wheel. Alright. So, we've got that done. I think what is best to work on next, rather, to reveal next. I promised the accents today. Which ones have I done? So, that's the question, you know. All right. Do a rat accent? No. Maybe later. I'm not great on the accents, dude. I haven't done old man. Do my self inserts accent? Oh, perfect. Yeah. Alter the header. What did I put it as the Blightborn, right? So I think it's all good. I've actually done all the extra. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Oh, right. Appreciate it. The crawl. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, that's the name. That's the name of the rats. So I was like, what the fuck? Nah. Appreciate it. Okay. So I think what is left is the hierarchy, hierarchy of rats, right? Or we'll say the Rat King, right? So let us. So the way I did this was I created. We'll go one at a time. Dig for victory. Dig for victory. Dig for victory. Maybe the experiment Rat Utopia 25 is interesting for the origins of war. Oh, yeah, I think for now it's just like they sent out an expedition and shit got really fucked up really fast. I think that's where we were with it. But that's the one thing I didn't do is like where the origination, or at least I have it meta-wise for myself, but I'm not sure I'm gonna unleash it to the chat, right? Slogans for propaganda, the war, dude. Come on, man. Are you doing your part? I'm doing my part, right? But yeah, there is some behind the scenes lore, but I think I would like to wait on revealing that stuff. Specifically because I'd like it to come out in play rather than just me telling everybody, you know. So okay. Loose lips get your colon chewed. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, they would refuse to fight and made her stagnate. Yeah, it was the beautiful ones, right? That was the Rat Utopia 25 is one of them are called like the beautiful ones, like the handsome ones or something. All the males, like the big males, would try to do their best to remain as handsome as possible. Damn, that could be some. Yeah, I appreciate the bringing it up. Maybe I'll do some more, and I'll add some of that shit. Right, like maybe higher up the hierarchy, they're more beautiful. Oh, was it the 25 or 24? Okay. Yeah, I remember that one, the beautiful ones, where they were like the large males would refuse to. Maybe apply that to halflings. Fuck off. There ain't no halflings, all right? There's no halfling to apply it to. We don't play with halflings, dude. We're on the next level. This actually be here too, by the way. Heading to King hierarchy. All right. So I think we're gonna do this. Shave the rats and pass them off as gnarly gnomes. Come on, dude. No, we don't want to do that. We don't like gnomes, right? Come on. Gnomes, halflings, dwarves. Dwarves are the best, right? Crunkly, indeed. Okay. Okay, so we have two descriptions. So what are we doing and how can we help? Yeah, so I'm about to throw up. I stopped talking too soon. Really sorry about that. I'm about to throw up a description of the hierarchy. This is stuff that I've actually done on. This is my personal work. But yeah, for now, just run interference and distract me. Is basically the chat's goal. because one of the chat members, who I won't say their name, but they want to get it, they want to get on with it, and they don't like that we're having fun and taking our time and chatting some stuff, so it's him. Yeah. Okay, so I hate fun indeed. So obviously the Rat King hierarchy begins with the Rat King himself. So the Rat King in my world has two forms. There is the singular Rat King, and then there is the hive mind Rat King. So here we go. Here's the singular form. Let's see. It's me. I hate fun. I'm literally only here for the lore that I made for everyone to enjoy for free in my free time for free with love and passion. And this is the thanks I get. A mockery. There we go. Hey, what do you think I get, dude? You know how much work I put into these fucking streams? You get mockery? What do I get? I get wang owls. I get fucking no weakness. Let them know. No weakness. Don't you dare. So okay. So the Rat King. In its singular form, the Rat King is a nightmarish amalgamation of multiple ratfolk bodies fused together in a grotesque union. Towering above all others, this monstrous entity defies comprehension. Its towering frame, composed of interwoven limbs and twisted flesh, is covered in matted, tattered fur that varies in shades of sickly gray and mottled brown. The Rat King's head, adorned with a crown of gnarled bone and withered vegetation, possesses glowing, malevolent eyes that emit an eerie red light. Its elongated snout drips with a viscous, toxic saliva, while its jagged teeth, sharp and stained, protrude from a maw twisted into a perpetual macabre grin. As the Rat King moves, the mass of interconnected bodies undulates with an unsettling fluidity, as if each ratfolk within its twisted form retains a trace of independent movement and awareness. This hulking creature radiates an aura of dark power, an oppressive force that amplifies the dread and despair within the Vermintangle. This is the singular form of the Rat King. This is the singular form. Milk suggested the Rat King, and so okay. Milk suggested the Rat King, but I am the one who created the so I guess actually I should add a something here. I should add like singular form, and then maybe we can bold this to just look more nice, and then we can go with hive mind form. Oh, you're gonna see, dude. You're gonna see. And so the hive mind form. Okay, so the hive mind form. When the Dukes of the Blightborn join together, their individual minds combine to form a unified hive mind, an unsettling consciousness that amplifies their strength, knowledge, and strategic capabilities. The Dukes stand in a circle, their bodies quivering as they establish a psychic connection, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly luminescence. As the hive mind takes shape, a web of ethereal energy weaves itself around the Dukes, intertwining their forms. The threads of energy crisscross the air, pulsating with an eerie light as their collective consciousness melds into a unified entity. In this state, the Dukes become extensions of the Rat King himself, linked together by an intricate network of shared thoughts, emotions, and commands. Their voices merge into a chorus of whispers, resonating with an otherworldly resonance. The Dukes' individual identities blur, replaced by a singular purpose: to execute the will of the Rat King. In this collective state, the hive mind possesses heightened intelligence and tactical coordination, enabling the Blightborn forces to act with ruthless efficiency. Together, the singular Rat King and the collective hive mind of the Dukes represent the immense power and enigmatic nature of the Blightborn. They command fear and awe in equal measure, a reminder of the dark forces that dwell within the Vermin Tangle. So, that is the singular Rat King and the hive mind. I like the idea of both singular and hive mind, so I went with both, right? I like the idea of a singular, powerful, right? And then I like the idea of it all kind of melding together into some absolute insanity. Sick, huh? Sounds pretty cool, huh? All right. So underneath the Rat King, obviously, do they feed on rat milk? Yeah. I don't know my hierarchy. Well, there's more. Yeah, there's more than this. This is just like, it's the way I've got it. And I'll tell you now, it's like, it's king, dukes, counts, barons, and then there are, I believe, 2 others, which is like the low foot soldier form, and then an even lower caste of essentially like the laborer rats. I guess like swarms. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I hope you guys really like that one, huh? It's just regular rats, exactly. But they're like, they don't really count. It's kind of like what my thinking is, right? Just regular rats. Yeah. Okay. So, up next, this is gonna be the most descriptive one because everything else after this is like less important, although maybe not. Like, I just didn't have as much time to work on the other stuff. Dukes. This is too big. Okay, so it should be heading 3, I believe. There we go. Dukes. I think 2 works better personally. What do you mean? Oh, the second post? Let me double check it. The 9 to 4? Base 9 to 4? Yeah. 9 to 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think this works perfectly fine. Yes. Yeah, 9 to 4. If I'm reading it, so Rat King, Rat Dukes, Rat Counts, Barons, and then we can do okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Then we can do, I think that'll work. Because the foot soldiers will like will command literal rat swarms, right? Like actual just rats. Yeah. Yeah, they could be like knights rather than like, you know, and then the one below that will control. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So then next up will be the Dukes. I want to flesh this out, but rat folk of imposing stature and presence, adorned in ornate armor and draped in tattered, blood-stained banners. They bear ceremonial weapons and have an air of authority and strategic prowess. Very simple with like the Dukes. But I do want to add, this was something that I had thought of, but I didn't have time to write in. Flayed skin banners. Yeah. So everything, there's something different. Yeah, they're like large. They're like humans, like not human size, but they're big, right? Fuck, I need to drink some water. My fucking voice cracked. Like I'm fucking 14. What the fuck? Sorry about that. Okay. Sound like you. Here I go. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so big humanoid rats. Yeah. That was the idea. Like big humanoid freakish scary rats, right? The Rat King is obviously like much larger than, Rat King is like large. Everything else is like human-sized rats. But they get smaller as they go down, right? So there's very obvious visual differences, at least in description. Yeah, human-sized or smaller, exactly. So like the Rat King, much larger than humans by a large portion, but like Dukes are basically like human-sized, and then as you go down, you get down to literal rats. Down to gnome size if you shaved one. No. I think like down to like dwarf sized, and then they become actual rats. Is what I'm thinking, at least. Gnome. Okay. So, Dukes. A caveat that I wanted to add here, and this is what I had mentioned way earlier, with the idea that like it would be impossible to maintain hope if you never, if you thought that there was never an end to the battle, right? So what I wanted to add was specifically in regards to the Dukes. The Dukes are extremely rare. So like when you kill a Duke, you can assume, or rather actually Dukes are a limited number, right? So there's the idea was that if you kill all the Dukes, then the Dukes are done, rather than they can be easily replaced. And the idea was that Dukes were the rats that were a part of the Rat King, the literal Rat King, right? The amalgamation of all these rats together, that became that somehow got infused with the veil. Looking into the Rat King ideas, one cannot become a Duke without a tail and chopping off. Yeah. Get fat and clean his fur, maybe even dorsed. Oh, allow. it killing a white. it caught that. Yeah. So it'd be like killing a white walker. All the subservient rats die. I would say not that it would not be that the subservient rats die, just that there is no replacement for the Duke itself, right? You cannot easily replace a Duke. Rather, the idea from the Vizgradian Expeditionary Force is that when a Duke dies, you've killed it for good, right? You don't have to worry about, so the idea is like maybe there's 50 Dukes and they've killed 5, so there are only 45 left to go, right? And you don't have to worry about, well, we killed 5 Dukes, but tomorrow they're gonna have 100 more, right? To kind of combat the idea of like the increase. Yeah, essentially when the Duke dies, it just kind of goes to shit, is the idea. Yeah. You know, as best as possible. What's the benefit of killing a Duke? Yeah. The idea is that the power of the hive mind Rat King also diminishes because there is less Dukes to create the hive mind, right? To create the Rat King as the hive mind. So in the combat, they'd be scattered like infantry because their commanding rat died. Exactly. Yeah, like massive morale penalty to the rats in the area. Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, and the idea that it's still like a born hierarchy, right? But I think from here on, they can be replaced. So obviously the Rat King cannot be replaced. If it dies, it's done. And Dukes cannot be replaced. But everything down on the hierarchy from here can be replaced. I had it that the key tiered individual had to amass a full strength force under them to be able to promote evolve. Oh, so like, that's another idea. So that instead of like it being, so then they kind of push to breed, right? To have more numbers under their own force. Oh, maybe concentration of rats generates corruption, which empowers them. Ooh, that'd be fucking cool. So like, So, okay. So then it could be the case that like, so like say what is underneath the Baron? What do I have counts, right? So if a count brings enough numbers together, it's almost like a ritual in which the count is infused with the massive amounts of corruption of the rats under his control, and it's almost like a ritual to raise from a count to a Duke as a rat. That could also be really fucking cool. Fuck, man. I like that idea more than I like my original idea of Dukes having been those. Yeah. The issue is if you say Dukes cannot replace and they can't form a new king, you need an explanation to... Yeah. They have to really run that... Gotta really run that wheel. Yeah. If the Dukes cannot replace and they cannot form a new king, you need an explanation to why a lower rat can't promote to a Duke. Yeah, the initial explanation for why a lower rat can't promote to a Duke is because the only Dukes that exist were rats that were tied to the Rat King when the Rat King was hit with this I guess the best way to explain it is like an unworldly power that raised it to like a demigod like being, right? So the Dukes would basically just be members of the original Rat King, like the literal amalgamation of like 50 rat tails all like, you know, fused together. The Dukes would be those that were initially trapped to the Rat King when it became a Solemn, which is a demigod in my setting. But I do like the idea. I don't like the might is right argument. Yeah, like fighting and trying to kill to raise yourself. I didn't like that as for the rats specifically. But it is good generally, like the idea, like the orc logic, but I don't want it for the rats specifically. I like the idea that it's more like a corruptive ritual. Yeah, we've already got it other places in the world. Exactly. Yeah. Direct control from the Rat King is broken. Small factions. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll make a note on this and I'll come back to it, so we can continue because I'm gonna get lost in this one before I finish the rest of the description stuff. So Dukes and Rat hierarchy revamp. I'll look at that. Okay. Yeah, kind of difficult to come up with a promotion system in a monarchic hierarchy. Yeah, so maybe killing a duke would break the link, and a new duke would naturally evolve with the rat gathering, and then obviously once it gets that corruptive power back, it's most likely gonna pledge fealty to the Rat King, right? Because to not do so is basically like killing yourself, so to speak. Yeah, the VF need to be aggressive for sure. Okay, so we'll come back to this. Yeah, I like the idea more than my original one, so I'll come back to that. Okay. Okay, so the Dukes I thought of as like the more so that yeah, so the Dukes more cutesy, I guess, like, ceremonial. They got like the air of authority and a bit strategic. Yeah, okay. So the idea below them, counts, are actually like the more they're almost like the paladin, right? The big scary fucking one, which would probably be like the personal guard to the duke, is the idea. Yeah, and counts are definitely still gathering corruption, so they still have their own thing going. So let's get back to this. Heading 2, I believe, or is it 3? Heading 3, counts. So the description here. So, counts are ratfolk warriors with mottled fur and a sickly pallor marked by corrupted runes etched into their bodies. They carry jagged, venomous blades and wear tattered cloaks made from the skins of fallen enemies. Counts are real bastards. They drop the O. They dropped the O. The counts might be the other rats in the pack that were corrupted, but not to the degree of the duke, the losers in that pack's hierarchy. Yeah, exactly. And probably to go from count to duke means like a big thing, right? Like they're most likely to be the ones, if a duke should fall, to be looked at because they're larger, they're already corrupted, right? They're already kind of slightly yeah. Have I dropped? No. Everything was looking good on mine. Yeah. I think it might, this whole time I've been thinking like my shit was dropping. I think it might just be you, dude. It's all your audio, man. What the fuck? All right. Oh, it's me too. But just not this time. Okay, I appreciate it. I appreciate you adding on to the uncertainty that my sound is staying up or dropping for whatever reason. Although everything on my end shows that my sound is perfectly fine this whole time. I'm just like not talking. But yeah, Phage Finder would probably sense large swarms, for sure, right? So it kind of works in both ways. You can use it to actually. What did you say? yeah. Fuck off. All right. Okay. So below counts are heading 3, barons. I sound like your dad? What? How do I sound like your dad? Are you telling that to him? Are you telling that to Ram? Or are you telling that to me? Oh, okay. I appreciate that then. Yeah. All right. Barons. Description for Baron rats is agile ratfolk warriors with sharpened teeth and claws, their fur bristling with disease-ridden parasites. They wear lightweight leather armor and carry poison daggers, exuding an aura of relentless savagery. So again, the idea that they wear stuff, the idea is that actually this is all just shit that they've taken from the VEF, right? But they are capable, right, of using these things. which takes them from like, you know, this is what happens when you. There we go. So, all right. So up next, Trill's gone again. No, I've stopped talking, dude. It's not me dropping. It's just me stopping speaking to make sure, because I've got all this shit spread around. So underneath the barons are the rotten paws. Stop talking. I will never stop talking. So, this is the I really like the downtime animation. I've only just noticed it. It was such a huge pain in the ass to do. I don't know if you know. Big pain in the ass. Very difficult. Rotten paws. This is the diminutive term that that members of the VF probably use to refer to the larger of the rat swarms, right? The actual, essentially the foot soldier class of the Blightborn. So the foot soldiers of the Blightborn army, they are the backbone of the fighting force, responsible for engaging in combat and carrying out the orders of their superiors. The idea here is that they're just like large rats, right? They have sharpened teeth, they have large claws, and they just rip at you. They don't use weapons, right? They don't have armor. More stuff like that is more assumed the higher up the hierarchy you go. They call them squeakers. That's fuzzballs. These are all terrible terms. So, fluffies. Okay. Alrighty. And then the lowest of the low, before we get to literal swarms of rats, are the filthlings. And these are the laborer rats within the Blightborn. Filthlings are tasked with menial and support duties such as maintenance, logistics, and other non-combat tasks essential to the functioning of the vermin tangle. So, diggers, yeah, they dig, right? They bring whatever is needed, dirt paws, yeah. Yeah. So. All right. Yeah, filthlings. Because they're like the lowest of the low. Trash. Originally I had like this whole thing, like there's scavengers, like support specialists, there's, tunnel engineers, but I went away from it. I didn't want to give them like too much, like I didn't want it to be too mirroring of like of the VEF, right? I wanted it to be like the lowest low fight and they dig, and then you get a little bit more sophisticated up the line. But at the base, it's very just large rats. Protein shake, or is that something else? Yeah. Okay. So both of cow descent, but we are different people. I swear. It's good to hear. Good to hear. You could be goat milk. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Your name is Milk. That could be any kind of milk. Beef milk. Jesus. Because you're a filthling. Okay. So that is the structure. So I don't have anything now, but is there anything you think I missed? I didn't want to do like special units. I think like that'll be more interesting if it comes out in play rather than like, oh, the extra units. Yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, I did have extra. I didn't. Let's see. I didn't. Oh, specialist attachments. Oh, I think we should add something here real quick to kind of separate these two, and this will be like a heading 2, and it'll be logistics within the VF, right? And then special command. Okay, perfect. So I'm not gonna describe them now, but I had one that was literally dwarves. Since you're playing in tunnels, I assume that only special rats are allowed to construct them, else the filthlings might create tunnels that constantly collapse. Yeah, we're actually going with the constantly collapse. That's more of the idea here with the rats. I don't want them to be too sophisticated where they're like yeah, it's a feature, not a bug. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's the feature. Yeah, to kind of stray away from being too human, I guess, is the, yeah. It's an ugly tunnel. It's a rat tunnel. That's a nice reference, dude. There you go. That's a good reference. Oh, but I had a group. Yeah. So we'll do heading 3. Dwarvish special forces. So I don't have a written description, but I did think it would be smart if the VEF had a dwarvish special force group, and the idea was that dwarves can both resist the corruption better for reasons. I like the V, dude. I don't like the F. Dwarvish dervishes. That's perfect. Yeah. Is it dwarfish? Dwarf. We'll make our own then. Dwarvish. Dwarvish. Special force. No. Is it really the V? That's the fucking whatever. Yeah, it'll be my lawsuit whenever I make big bucks off of this. Dwarfish task force. Yeah. Special force. It'll say task force, right? Task force. The idea will be that just that they are more resilient to the corruption, and they're essentially like I don't want them to be the rat catchers, but I do want them to be yeah, like maybe I don't know what kind of thing they fit. We've got the tunnel breacher core, yeah, like heavy weapon, yeah, like maybe heavier weapon task force, like force, yeah. Dwarfish. They lock down key emplacements, make them out of lead. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Gotta pop off the stream. All right, Milk. Appreciate you hanging around. Yeah. The idea was that they handle above ground operations, because they can resist it. Exactly. Yeah, they're like they can head out into the wackiness. So, I'm not gonna do a description for now, but I wanted to. Yeah, exactly. It is kind of funny. Yeah. So they it is ironic. But yeah, we'll just be like above ground experts. So, yeah. And then actually I think I originally wrote the special forces before I saw everything that was already had. So I think actually it's just the dwarves. Krieg. Oh right, yeah, the Death Corps, right? Yeah. So then I'll just add that real quick as again like another. And then I'll do a description and I'll run it by you, dude. There we go. Death Corps Force. What are they? Some kind of suicide squad? Yeah. They're forced to they make deep runs into the K is Warhammer. We don't want to mess with GW, huh? We're having to dodge lawsuits from the Tolkien estate as well as G Dubs. Yeah. So we don't want to fuck around with both. Absolutely. So yeah, Death Corps 4. The idea was that they do like the super. They essentially make suicide runs, but they are doing like the deepest tasks that happen in the Vermin Tangle, right? They carry taverns. The Nan Cheesemaker's Front. Crack Suicide Squad. Yeah. All right, but I'll give a description of these two later. Yeah, with short fuses. Oh yeah, maybe they're like explosive. Like they go. Yeah, not only do they rush in deep to the Vermin Tangle, but they also blow shit up. And that's why they're the Death, because they, it typically comes with a tunnel collapsing on them, right? So that sounds fine by me. Yeah, it's their job to set the explosives. Yeah, like what are they called in the U.S.? Yeah, the explosive ordnance disposal group, right? Yeah. Well, typically that's like to get rid of them, but they don't get rid of them. Yeah, grenadiers. So we'll just put grenadiers. There we go. Grenadiers. They carry petards. Perfect. Okay. Sappers are your specialist demo guys. Nice. Okay. So then, damn, I think we are all set with all of this. I'm going to definitely do some more descriptors for the sort of like the Dukes and downwards. I want to run over those ideas, and I'm actually going to save the note stuff. I mean, I think we have to continue on Tuesday, right? Like, there's so many other things that need to get taken care of. Because we didn't even touch on the three princes stuff that all kind of has to interact with this. We didn't do like the independence and the Duke interaction with Floating Crown and Vizargo. We haven't even determined where the artery begins. So yeah, I think we'll definitely continue this on Tuesday then. And maybe even next Friday. So I'm not gonna bother with messing stuff up. Have a copy of what, the rat stuff specifically, or all of this? I can ship it over to a Word doc and send it your way. This stuff? Okay. Yeah, I'll ship it all over to a Word doc and post it in the moderator only stuff, or the round table even. We need to use that one for more world stuff, right? Like keep it all kind of clued in there for the big ones who are able to tweak the existence, the whole space of the world. All right. Well then, I think then we're chilling. We're gonna bounce on out for this evening. I appreciate all the new followers, everybody who checked out the stream. I appreciate CJ some days for. Are you streaming it? No, okay. I was gonna do like a counter raid. But thank you all for hanging out for sure. If you'd like to get involved in the community, have a chance to get in on the Discord stuff as far as world building ideas go and everything, the best place to be is in the Discord, as linked. Thank you, Ram. Yeah, he did a Twitch mod thing. Oh shit. Yeah, but thank you all for hanging out. If you'd like to get involved, oh dude, you timed him out. He fucking deleted everything. Jesus, delete like every message he sent. Okay. Just for timing out for 10 seconds. Holy fuck. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to get involved in community stuff, the best place to be is the Discord. That is also the best place to be if you'd like to get involved in a future game by chance, as that is where I recruit from first before I reach out to other places to try and find, potential members of the games. We run 3 campaigns a week, as well as doing some world building stuff and everything else. We play Pathfinder 2nd Edition. In any case, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I appreciate you all jumping in, all the new faces. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate the raid and all that. And yeah, I wish you all the best. So thank you all. Hope you have a good one. And maybe we'll see you next time, tomorrow for the next campaign. So peace. Later.